is up, YouTube? What is up, Twitter? What is up, TikTok? How's everybody doing today? Bitcoin, of course, coming back down now below $66,000. Ethereum below $3,500. We are doing a massive Bitcoin up today. Going to be going over the charts, of course, the futures gap that we were talking about this morning, but where Bitcoin and altcoins are about to head. We've had breaking news as Donald Trump has came out and denied the claims that he was looking at Jamie Dimon and, of course, Larry Fink as positions in his party, specifically the United States Treasury Secretary. So I've been diving into what this means, where markets are heading, and when we are going to be dollar cost averaging, because you guys know I have been waiting for this pullback. I told you guys about it a few days back, of course, again this morning and yesterday, that I am looking to pick up some altcoins in this market right now, specifically tokenization plays. So we'll be talking about those projects here at the end of this. So make sure you guys hit that like button and just get excited because, yes, I do have capital. I do have the stable coins ready to be put into this new little hidden gem. But of course, we got to break down why that is in the first place today. So looking at the Bitcoin charts here, guys, Bitcoin liquidation map. Yeah, we are getting, of course, some interesting price action. You guys know how this works, okay? On the daily has become more bullish. So dropping below 66K, it does look like we are creating some new support ranges. So of course, we're sitting at, what is the exact price level right now? Let me pull up. It looks like 65,000 here on CoinMarketCap. But of course, I want to go to TradingView and get that exact number. So $65,659. So the liquidations, let's refresh this a little bit. Should be really positive now on the daily. Check that out. This is exactly what we want to see, at least on the daily, the 7-day, and the 30 days. For you guys that don't know, okay? For you guys that don't know, when the green side is higher than the red side, that is bullish, okay? Bullish. When the red side, okay, is higher than the green side, that is bearish. All right, that is how this works. That's how the liquidations work. And I proved that to you guys, of course, at 53,000, 56,000, 57,000, 58,000, so on, etc. As we saw these pile up, as we saw the liquidations pile up. So on the daily here, it is looking to be a little bit more bullish. However, you got to zoom out, right? We got to look at the 7-day here. The 7-day chart, still bearish. And the 30-day is still very ugly. So what I pointed out this morning, and I do believe we have a pretty high chance at filling, is going to be the Bitcoin futures gap that is between 58,000. Yeah, I know that's ugly, guys. That's ugly. 58,000 and $61,000. 58, almost $59,000. $59,000 and essentially $60,000. Technically, it could actually come all the way down to 57.8. Now, I don't know if we're necessarily that bearish because, again, when we zoom out here, I got to show you guys this, right? When we zoom out on the daily, we have seen this happen a few times where we get a futures gap, right? We get a futures gap and it doesn't fill. But like 90% of the time, chat, 90% of the time, it does fill. So we have to just look at the overall historical data, right? The historical data tells us that, we could have a bit of a pullback here. So if you guys are on TikTok, give me those price predictions. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, give me that price prediction. But I do believe we could see this filled. However, we do need to point out that the last time this wasn't filled, both times right here, it was when the RSI flipped over the 14-day moving average right here. That the yellow line you can see, right? The yellow line. So when it flipped, that futures gap wasn't necessarily created. But again, look at historically, guys. When we have these massive gaps, they tend to get filled. So I do think we could see this get filled here in the next couple of days, if not this week. And this is where I want to take advantage of that opportunity to buy back into some of these, tokenization plays. This is where I'm going to dollar cost average again, right? Last time I bought was at these levels. We were buying at 53K. We bought $50,000 worth of Ethereum all the way back when we were at $57,000 the first time. It's now up to we bought at $3,050. So it's up quite a bit still in this in this moment. But what we want to see here, right? We saw a bottom. We saw a 27%, 28% rally on Bitcoin's price action. I would not be at all shocked if we saw a 13% to the downside after getting that massive rally to fill that gap here. Okay, that is what we're seeing on the charts right now, and I do believe that could very much play out right now. Very well. Fox Business breaking just came in and said, we have Crypto Bad Box saying Fox Business just mentioned Trump may announce a Bitcoin strategic reserve at the Bitcoin conference. So if we do get an announcement like that from Trump, that obviously, chat, that would pump the markets. However, I would say there's a 15% chance there's probably a 15% chance Trump actually announces a strategic reserve at the Bitcoin conference. It's not too difficult. I mean, it very well could happen. I'm not going to say the chances are zero, but I don't know if that's the hill he wants to fight right now. And he could say so many things that are pro crypto and not say we're going to back our strategic reserves. Now, all we would have to do is essentially take the confiscated Bitcoin, which is the United States is the largest Bitcoin holder in the world. Under the DOJ, what they've confiscated, they would have to move that to the U.S. Treasury. So it wouldn't be too hard to do. It would not be too hard to do at all. But the legal battles to get there, that is obviously what is complex and going to take a lot more time. So we'll see if it actually goes through. But yeah, a lot of people out here saying they agree too. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see it. But of course, guys, that leads me to these markets. So the downside here on Bitcoin's price, guys, could be about that $58,000 to $61,000 range. That would also allow us to pretty much bounce off of this right here, off that moving out average. But overall markets, I would say, are more bullish than bearish at this moment, especially Ethereum. If Ethereum were to break down, I don't think it would go back below $3,000 at this point. Ethereum isn't what has the futures gap. The Ethereum ETF did just launch, incredibly bullish, seen hundreds of millions of dollars in volume, which we'll get into in just a second. But that was pretty bullish. So I want to start off today's stream with this minute and 45-second clip. Okay, this is BlackRock's new Ethereum ETF fund. Now, chat, you might be someone's like, oh, this crypto guy is so into politics. Go back to crypto, stick to crypto. Crypto and politics are one of the same. They are straight up one of the same. And if you are in crypto, okay, if you're a capitalist, you're not going to vote for socialists that want to regulate the shit out of your industry and push it out of our country. It makes no sense. For people that are like pro-Harris right now and into crypto, she has literally been behind the 30% tax initiatives and the environmental destructive bills they've tried to halt Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is not bad for the economy. It's not bad for the environment. It actually could save the environment in a lot of different ways that I've explained a million different times. They have a wrong perception on the industry. And the reality is what is going to be incentivized in the future. It's not Harris. Okay, she ain't incentivizing shit. It's BlackRock with Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin ETFs, and tokenization. Check out this Ethereum ETF video BlackRock just dropped.
Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap after Bitcoin and has key characteristics that make it distinct. While many see Bitcoin's key appeal in its scarcity, many find Ethereum's appeal in its utility. Ethereum is a highly programmable blockchain that provides infrastructure for a diverse range of assets and use cases. You can think of Ethereum as a global platform for applications. This platform enables applications referred to as smart contracts to run without a centralized intermediary. Transactions on Ethereum require a transaction fee to be paid in the network's native token, Ether. Investor interest in Ether has been expanding as more people adopt digital assets. And that's why we're introducing ETHA, the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, which provides investors convenient exposure to Ether. Here are 3 things to know about ETHA. The first is access. ETHA enables investors to access Ethereum's native token Ether within a traditional brokerage account. The second is convenience. ETHA can help remove operational burdens associated with holding Ether directly, as well as potential high trading costs and tax reporting
Guy's a robot.
And finally, integrated technology. ETHA is managed by the world's largest asset manager and leverages a multi-year technology integration developed with Coinbase Prime.
Coinbase Prime. Okay, so this is where he's ending it off with. And Istafabobic, welcome. Thank you for the super chat, man. With all respect, F your gap up. Dude, yeah, honestly, big FUs in the chat. Okay, I respect it. I respect it. Nobody wants to see that futures gap filled. I am just looking over historical references and it sucks. But guys, let's talk about BlackRock right now. Okay. This is the future of markets. If you guys want to make money in crypto, look, meme coins are a narrative. They're a trend. I'm into meme coins. I love them, but that's not going to be sustainable for a very long period of time. What is actually sustainable is the transfer of our traditional financial system and structure into all of these tokenized infrastructure plays. Again, talking about ETFs, money markets, treasuries, real estate, private credit, whatever it is. That is where the tokenization is really going to make the most amount of a return on your investment. And that's what we've been covering with things like Ondo, BlackRock's BIDL program. And of course, big announcements we're going to be covering in this stream today. But very interesting enough, right? You guys heard all of the rumors. You heard all of the rumors that Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, was going to be the U.S. Treasury by, of course, Donald Trump. Check this out. We got to go to BlackRock. Let's type in Donald Trump here. I don't think I pulled it up here. Donald Trump denies BlackRock. Check this out. On Truth Social, okay? On Truth Social, Donald Trump posted this today saying, I don't know who said it or where it came from, perhaps the radical left, but I never discussed or thought of Jamie Dimon or Larry Fink for the Secretary of the Treasury. All right. Very powerful statement that's actually having a negative impact on these markets. And that is why I believe, honestly, Bitcoin is seeing quite a bit of a fall here. Now, I do like seeing this. Check this out, guys. There's a futures gap above us. There's a future gap above us. You see that future gap right here? There is a futures gap above us too. So even if we fill this, I would like to see this filled. It's very, very bullish, but we're definitely getting bearish price action to the downside as there's been a lot of hype. There's been a lot of bidding. Of course, with the Ethereum ETF approval this week, with Bitcoin Nashville, the announcements of a potential strategic reserve, with the announcements of Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon coming into this industry, very, very bullish. So it makes sense that we're getting a bit of a retracement, okay? And that's where we stand right now. So he came out and said that rumor is, it's doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Jesse Gillick with the super chat here. Cardano on the run. Is Cardano pumping today? Let's see. Cardano here. Type 1 in chat if you hold Cardano. Cardano's not on a run, homie. Cardano is where's that run? Where's that run? That ain't no Forrest Gump. No, it's not. That is sitting down. That is not, that's the opposite of a run here. Moving on here though. Okay, moving on here. So Donald Trump denies considering JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon and BlackRock's Larry Fink for Treasury Secretary, stating, I have never discussed or thought of them for this role. Very interesting perspective. However, I'm really not necessarily convinced. We're not going to see a lot of, kind of not collusion, but integration with Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon. Because take a listen into this Bloomberg interview from 6 months ago with the tokenization of real world assets. Guys, I'm not talking about billions coming into tokenization. I'm talking about trillions. We've already seen billions. I've shown you in chat. Type 1 in chat if you're tired of me. Look, I get it. Like, you might be tired of me. Type 1 in chat if you're tired of me talking about RWAs, Ondo, etc. But if you're typing 1 in chat, okay, type 2 if you're not. You're like, yes, keep talking, yell it from the rooftop. I have been showing you guys since this was a $10 million industry. 10 million. Okay, 10 million. You go to rwa.xyz. All right, rwa.xyz here. This is insane. It is now $13.15 billion. U.S. Treasuries, $1.92 billion. It has done over a 19x. If you want to look at who are going to be winners in this new system that's being created, and this isn't some grand conspiracy, guys. Like, I don't do that. We just use data. And the data's in front of you. It's hitting you across the face. It's literally smacking you and saying, okay, yeah, of course we're tokenizing everything. Why are we tokenizing everything? It allows BlackRock to reduce all of their costs. All of these investment managers and banks, guys, they get to reduce their costs by 1,000-fold. I mean, the instantaneous settlements at the click of the button without needing 42,000 different, transactional occurrences that are incredibly cost effective. They don't need any of that. He's talked about that and he discloses that in this interview here with Bloomberg. Take a listen to this. Let me go ahead and rewind it for you guys.
Explain that.
Hey, by the way, guys, can we get some W's in the chat? I figured out the audio finally. Can you get some W's for Josh or Jake? He learned how to use tech today.
Move into ETFs. How far does it go?
When we bought BGI in 2009, we were ridiculed by most of the financial community for saying you cannot marry the culture of an active investor, who we were, and a passive culture. And we said, why? Our clients use both products. Our job is to be agnostic to our clients, to work with our clients, and to provide a whole portfolio solution. But over time, more and more clients started to think about, how do I want to get an exposure? Do I want an exposure in this area or this product? And I could do that through actively investing in ETFs. In 2012, we said, ETFs are going to be the new engine for fixed income. And boy, did that get a lot of ridicule by many people in the business community. And today, the fixed income markets are totally imbued by ETFs. And so at BlackRock, when we bought BGI, we had $290 billion of ETFs. Today, we have $3.5 trillion. Is
Listen to this
then
right here.
this week alone, just yesterday, we launched the iShares Bitcoin ETF. And so I would say to you, if we could ETF a Bitcoin, imagine what we could do with all financial instruments. And so what we announced in our architectural change, iShares was this business division in itself. And we thought that's too exclusive. We needed to include the ethos, the philosophy, the spirituality of what iShares can provide in everything we do at BlackRock, because we believe we're just halfway there in the ETF revolution, that everything is going to be ETF'd. And we needed to ensure both active products, passive products, digital products are going to be used through the vehicle of ETFs. At the same time, in this architectural change, we're elevating the whole concept that we are going to be curating more and more of our performance-based products too. So it's a very large architectural change. A lot of people have asked me, iShares is the most successful division within BlackRock. Look what it did. Why are you doing this now? And we believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move. I would also say on the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin, we believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets.
There it is.
And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own shares.
Is this the end of mutual funds?
I think, well, a lot of people, it's a wrapper. It's not the end of it, but I would say the
Wow. Wow. Right? I don't have to. This is why I'm like, when people try to argue with me with tokenization, your world's richest company, I mean, the world's largest asset management company in the world, responsible for saving the United States out of the Great Depression. Yes, Obama's administration sold out the American people because we had no other choice to BlackRock and institutions. Fast forward to 2020 with COVID-19, guess who steps in to help finance everything behind COVID-19? Same institutions, right? We saw this with Warren, or not with Warren Buffett, Elizabeth Warren and Janet Yellen. Elizabeth Warren, terrible human being, right? Completely sold us out again in 2020. This is where we have no choice. So when people go, oh, crypto is about decentralization. It's about, the FU to the, to the government. Guys, this has been a kleptocracy since 1971 when we came off the gold standard with Richard Nixon. This is no longer government versus private class. It's private class and corporations combined with the government. It's a revolving door of these positions and policies, all the same lobbyists, all the same money. It's going in and out of all these same agencies and corporations, right? BlackRock controls over 75% of the ETFs on the traditional stock market. They are now responsible for the most successful financial product tool to ever exist, a Bitcoin ETF. They have now launched an Ethereum ETF, and they are telling you they are going to tokenize all these assets. The largest financial institution in the world is going to tokenize stablecoins, U.S. treasuries, global bonds, private credit, commodities, stocks, carbon credits, private equity, real estate. Everything is going to be tokenized, and that is incredibly bullish for these markets. So that is things like Chainlink, Ethereum, Ondo, again, securitized with Biddle, right? That is why we are getting on this train early. I don't know if it's going to take 3 months. I don't know if it's going to take 6 months. I don't know if it's going to take 6 years, but we know that trillions of dollars are going to pour over into this sector because it's going to make these companies like BlackRock billions upon billions of dollars if they do so. Very, very important to watch there. Very, very important here. Coming from chat here, we have, oh, wow, he's talking about voting and Cardano getting the upgrade right. Hello, XRP second largest holding. Trump will deny the ties until he gets elected. Maybe. I mean, that's conspiratorial at that point. Who knows? Literally, who knows? And we will run on the XRP. Nothing's going to run on the XRPL. Unfortunately, it's going to be on Ethereum. I could prove that right here. Here you go. Boom. It's all on Ethereum. BlackRock's not using the XRPL. They're using Ethereum. All of it is built on Ethereum. In fact, Stellar would be your second bet. Not XRP, not XDC, Stellar. Stellar Lumens is the ones that have a lot of tokenization on top of that. Why? Because Franklin Templeton, yes, is built on top of them. So if we see maybe Goldman Sachs, yeah, none of these guys are built on the XRPL, guys. I don't know where you guys get that from. All of it, all of the tokenization is happening primarily on Ethereum, then Stellar, and then a little bit on Solana. A very, very, very tiny fraction of it is on Solana with Maple, which is, still kind of bullish there for that project. Update from James Seifert here. Or Seifert. Let's go to, of course, let me zoom in for you guys here so you can see the screen. Updating with data through 1:30 and correlating formulas. The Ethereum ETFs are on track to be a bit shy of $1 billion. $1 billion would be on track to hit about 940 million with 2.5 hours left. 932 million would be 20% of Bitcoin's ETF day one. 20%. So last 30 minutes of trading will be important. We've seen about 20% of the inflows that we saw into Bitcoin now fled over into Ethereum. Very, very bullish for Ethereum in the altcoin market. Same old story. So here's what Emperor Bitcoin thinks is going to happen to Bitcoin's price, right? A lot of people worried about Bitcoin pulling back here. We're now down to $65,500 or $60,600. Again, we could come lower here very easily. We might bounce. We might not fill that gap. But again, that is just something we're looking at historically. Let's go to what he believes is going to happen. Number one, Ethereum ETF will be a sell the news event. Number two, people holding will sell, and we're going to get a minor dump. Number three, retail will start to panic, assume it's the end, and short the bottom. So that's probably at $3,000 Ethereum. That's probably at $60,000 Bitcoin. Retail starts shorting again, and the bears crawl back out of their little holes, right? They disappeared. Like, guys, how many of you has anybody, just say yes in chat, yes or no. Have you guys heard from bears in the last 2 weeks? Bears are gone. They don't even exist on the internet. They were like, oh, I'm going to shut up. Bitcoin bumps. Just leave the building for a couple weeks. And then guess what, guys? Larger players, number 4, will use this liquidity to accumulate, liquidate the shorts, and then we pump. I think this is pretty much going to be how it plays out. It plays out the same way every single time. Crypto discussion rates are finally looking up, particularly on Telegram, Reddit, and X. With social volumes rising, bulls are hoping to see overall network activity rising soon as a result, leading to more utility and higher prices around the corner. Of course, guys, we are currently, let me go ahead and put this vote in for you. Let's refresh it here for you guys on the 24-hour time frame. The Fear and Greed Index is at 71. Oof. And let's double check my APIs here because, of course, I have a lot of updates for my devs today. So let me go to the other one as well. It is correct. So 71 is the Fear and Greed here today. Of course, if you guys haven't used FOMO.io, the link's in the bio. I built the greatest free Fear and Greed Index tool for you guys on the market. There you go. There it is in the chat for you guys. The link's in my bio on Twitter, of course, on TikTok, as well as in the chat here for YouTube. But we are looking at a 71 greed factor right now on Bitcoin. Let's go to the 4-hour. And actually, I'm not logged in. If you want the 4-hour, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour, you can even go to FOMO.io. It's free to use, but if you want the 4 hours and all access to all these altcoins, which should be available for you guys within the next 24 hours, you'll get 42 different altcoins that have different data points on the Fear and Greed Index. Of course, guys, make sure you hit that vote and put the retail score in today. Right now, retail users are 56, and not 71, but 56. This is the first real retail Fear and Greed Index tool to ever exist. So make sure you guys go to FOMO.io right now and vote. Are you bullish or bearish on the market? So we can get an overall estimation on where the market believes we are heading next. Really, really cool tool for you guys right there. The Ethereum ETF has insane numbers. First 15 minutes, already 50% of Bitcoin's first day in terms of volume, 112 million. The Ethereum ETF launches is heavily undervalued, and I expect it to trade towards an all-time high in 1 to 2 months. Guys, give me your Ethereum price predictions. I think Ethereum can hit all-time highs here in probably the next, honestly, 2 to 4 weeks. I think it's very, very possible. Very, very, very possible. However, with that said, that does not mean we are not going to pull back quite a bit. Okay, that does not mean we're not going to see a $2,900 or $3,100 Ethereum first. When we saw the Bitcoin ETF release, of course, it was buy the rumor, sell the news. It does look like we're getting that with Ethereum right now. Today's launch of the Ethereum ETF is a game changer for the crypto industry. It's not only opens up an access to the second largest cryptocurrency, but also delivers much needed regulatory clarity. This is obviously very needed as we approach elections and people have no idea where markets are heading. Announcement today, the Bitwise Ethereum ETF became the first US ETP to publish its Ethereum addresses and set ENS subnames for each address. This is really cool. We don't need any Arkham intelligence. We don't need any blockchain sleuths to go find, BlackRock's addresses. Bitwise was like, hey, here's our addresses. You can watch how much you can track us. Full transparency. Really cool to see in the space as well. Ethereum ETF approved. What this means for Ethereum. So this is going to be a 56-second clip for you guys coming from the CEO and founder of Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov, one of the biggest goats in the crypto industry. Of course, talking about what his thoughts are on Ethereum and where we are more than likely going to head next. And I am trying to set up my camera here. Let me go ahead and hit play.
The launch of the ETH ETF proves a very basic assumption that the Bitcoin ETF will not be the only ETF or traditional financial market vehicle through which the average institutional investor and consumer can access cryptocurrencies. It will extend beyond Bitcoin to, in this case, ETH. But I personally feel that that's really just the beginning. Just like many systems and protocols initially list Bitcoin and ETH, and then eventually list a multitude of other tokens, that is really the trajectory that we're on. So on the one hand, it's significant because the ETH community likes it and it relates to the ETH community. On the other hand, it is a sign of a very clear trend that not only Bitcoin, not only ETH, but many other tokens out in the world will end up getting their own ETFs at some point, allowing the larger global capital markets to interact with that financial product.
Yeah, very bullish. Very, 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 very bullish coming from, of course, Sergey Nazarov. Do we think Chainlink is going to get the next ETF? Or is it going to be a Dogecoin? Is it going to be a Litecoin? Is it going to be ETH Classic? What altcoin gets the next ETF on the market? Of course, we have 6K from FedBomb by the end of August. We're going to hit, of course, $6,000. Probably shouldn't say your name here on YouTube, though. It's a risk. Guys, that was just a name. Just a name. Captain Gary, 5K. Trigdano, $75,000 Ethereum by 2030. That is insane. $15,000 or $18,000 Ethereum. Man, a lot of you guys got some bullish price predictions here. I am much more conservative. I am looking for a $5,200 to $5,500 Ethereum price range there. Bro, your beard looks cool as F. How do I get that type of beard, bro? I don't know, man. I just literally shave my face and then it grows back and then I shave my face. I really don't do anything. I literally don't do jack. Actually, I want to try growing it out, but my fiance will never let me, grow out my beard. This is as long as I'm allowed to get it. Solana will be third. Solana next ETF. Oh, that's actually a good one. Solana, yeah, that is true. That is true. I totally faded Solana for a second there. Bitcoin ETFs see almost $1 billion in inflow since Friday, ahead of the Ethereum ETF launch. More institutional interest, and Mt. Gox creditors have began receiving Bitcoin on Kraken Exchange. So we have seen this affect markets. Now, it's not as bad as everybody expected it, but with the announcement that Trump is denying the BlackRock ties with Larry Fink and, of course, Jamie Dimon, we've been getting a bit of a pullback. But you also have, of course, guys, if Mt. Gox was to sell everything all at once, I mean, that would be roughly a 10% dip. So, if a 15% dip isn't something that's impossible or out of the cards, and is why, again, I think that we could easily see that futures gap filled. Doesn't have to happen. Again, history shows us. I'm a data-driven person. I don't sit here and just do some astrology and draw lines and be like, oh, wait, this is what's going to... No, I look at historical data and references, and you guys will see every time that we, create futures gaps on the daily, it's well above 85% of the time, more than likely well above 90, that we see that gap closed in the short term. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes weeks, but you traditionally do see that filled unless, again, that RSI does break out past this moving average, which we have seen a couple times. So it doesn't have to happen. I'm just saying it can happen, right? So don't hurt the messenger. I am just the messenger for you guys. That is what we're doing here. All right, let's move on to the next article of today. Correction occurred due to Mt. Gox issue reaching the defense line of 1 to 3 month holders. As a result, the price temporarily fell, and it currently hovering around $66,700. The price range is very close to the average purchase price of $66.5 for 1 to 3 month Bitcoin holders. If that support breaks down, you should watch the average purchase price range of 3 to 6 month holders to $63,600. So Yancey from CryptoQuant looking at a $63,600 Bitcoin. $63,600 Bitcoin before we move higher. Bitcoin network hash rate has been recovering lately, along with price increase. The drawdown is now 5% compared to almost 9% a few weeks ago. We're seeing, of course, a lot of those miners and that hash rate start to rise again, which is bullish for price action in the markets. The Biden administration. This is a quick reminder for anybody that is paying attention to elections here. The Biden administration's dangerous scheme to tax Bitcoin miners is a blatant attack on innovation, energy abundance, and American excellence. It's very interesting. That nobody wants to really talk about this. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Cynthia Loomis, but hey, she's very pro crypto, and I love that about her. I don't know enough about her history though to give a judgment case on her policies. However, we do know that the Biden administration proposed excise tax on Bitcoin mining, and Kamala Harris again was backing this. Guys, this is all I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the economics and crypto regulation. That's what I'm focusing on. If you're in crypto, the current party is not your friend. The government is not your friend when it comes to regulation. They don't even know what they're regulating in the first place, and they're embedding tax policies that could absolutely wreck the industry in the United States. Very, very interesting. I do want to see what Bitfinex put here, though. He said, "Is this you?" 24-second clip. This guy is like a massive bear, by the way. Does have some interesting takes. He thinks obviously Bitfinex and Tether are one of the largest financial frauds in history. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. People like this have a lot of very, very valid takes, a lot of very good takes. But the Federal Reserve itself is a Ponzi scheme. The United States is just a giant loan shark. So at the end of the day, if you really dig far enough down, every system looks broken. Every system is broken. This is why you have parties that go, oh, we need communism. No, you can't. No, we need fascism. No, you should know. No, like history shows, capitalism is the best form of government, specifically in the United States for the last 500 years. You've seen the history of cycles. Read The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. But you need, in a capitalistic society, socialistic events. You need socialistic programs, right? Capitalism without socialism is fascism, and socialism without capitalism is communism. You guys know the phrase. You guys know how this works. And again, just study history for 2 seconds. So seeing a lot of the bearish takes on the economy, it's good to see, but it's just like the boy who cried wolf, right? Peter Schiff. He's been saying there's going to be some detrimental financial crash since 2008. That 2008 was just the beginning, and we were going to collapse as a whole. It's now been 15 years. The debt keeps increasing. They keep kicking the can further down the road. You get where I'm going with this, right? So let's hear what he had to share here, because I am still curious.
Tether is a favored on and off ramp for illicit activities to interact with crypto asset market.
Never mind. It sounds like what was that audio? Bitfinex used different audio. What was that? I can't even hear it. I couldn't even hear it. There's just the music over that. Probably protecting Tether here is what it is. Again, I don't think Tether's going to go anywhere. I think USDC could replace it, but Tether's one of the largest purchasers of U.S. treasuries, United States treasuries, guys. Oh, Japan and China are selling off U.S. treasuries. Who cares? You have Tether that literally has a bigger GDP than most countries building it and buying it. This is why tokenization, I keep telling you guys, it's the future. This saves fractional banking. It's Wall Street 2.0. You lost the chance at freedom and libertarian perspectives and beliefs and decentralization in 2013 when the DOJ stepped in and arrested Ross Ulbricht, or Eric Voorhees, or Arthur Hayes. You guys can go read the Digital Gold. I think it's called Digital Gold, or the Bitcoin Standard. Learn about the history of this. Go back to Charlie Shrem, everybody, the creator, the cypherpunks. Learn the history of this, and you realize the government was never their friend ever in the history of building and developing Bitcoin regulation. So just take that into effect, or take that into perspective when you guys look at the crypto markets. Is it a scam? No, it's not. It's a solution to fractional banking, and they're going to take advantage of that. It's very bullish. By the way, guys, you guys are probably like, oh, I don't like what you're saying. Great. I don't care if you like what I'm saying. We agree. I'm bullish. You're bullish. Good. We're in agreement there. I just have a different perspective on it. Like, I'm not a fan that institutions like BlackRock and Vanguard and Fidelity are going to come in and absorb the industry. I'm not a fan that they make money off every single infrastructure play that is developed. I'm not a fan that BlackRock and JP Morgan not only benefit from, foreign wars that are forever wars. For example, everything we're funding in the Middle East and Ukraine, etc. They make money off Boeing, off Raytheon, all of these different all of the weaponization of this. And they're the infrastructure. They're the ones that come in and rebuild it. They make money off both ends of the spectrum the entire time. I'm not a fan that these people that control these data points, that control 75% of our stock market, are going to control Bitcoin. Just what am I going to do this? What am I going to do here with the 500 and, or actually how many people, 1,700 people watching the stream between our channels right now? We can't do anything. If you want a free market, if you want decentralization, it means anybody can come in, and if they have more money, they're going to be able to take more control and benefit more off that system. It's just, that's capitalism. That's what it is. $1.6 trillion Franklin Templeton says Bitcoin layer 2s have the potential to unlock new use cases and opportunities for Bitcoin. Incredibly bullish for Bitcoin layer 2s. I keep telling you guys, Bitcoin layer 2s going to take a very, very long time to develop. They're brand new, but Bitcoin miners are going access, of course, to that, to the mempools and the transaction volume and everything occurring on DeFi and borrowing and lending. They're going to make a ton of money off of it, and they are. Here we have Biden administration brings back. Wow, did they bring it back? March 12th. Oh, no, this is from a minute ago. But yeah, that was the Biden administration. General explanations of the administration's fiscal year 2025 revenue proposals. So by the way, guys, Kamala Harris, Biden's administration, their cabinet, he signed off pretty much all of his duties and stepped down as president, essentially. Yeah, they haven't changed. This is for 2025. General explanations of the administration's fiscal year 2025 revenue proposals. 30% on electricity, 30% tax on electricity used by Bitcoin. That's absolutely bullshit. Bitcoin stabilizes power grids. It reduces excess wasted energy. For example, flare gas emissions. You can hook it up to landfills and mitigate ESG standards, carbon emissions that are leaking into the atmosphere. You can convert that through modular containers on site with things like Starlink. There is so much value and beauty to Bitcoin mining and what it can do for GDP and growth in the United States and stabilization of our power grids, of our energy, etc. They have no idea what they're talking about. And we break this down all the time. Even the World Economic Forum has came out and been like, oh, we were wrong. And now they're covering stories of chocolate factories in South America, right? They are incredibly wrong on their viewpoints and perspective that's happening here. And then the other thing is this, guys. What is up with people wanting to tax the rich? I am sorry. That is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. I get it. They should be paying their taxes. There shouldn't be, they should still pay their taxes. But if you want to incentivize growth in your economy, you can't regulate it to a point where there's no growth hacks, right? Your politicians, your corporations, they all work together. They're all colluding together, right? So what you want to see here, go to the debt clock, right? Go to the debt clock. Let's say they do get that tax out. The administration was bragging, oh, we got $1 billion in taxes from the ultra rich. The top 1,000 billionaires or whatever it is, I think make up for $5.5 trillion. Let's say let's say they get 33% of that. Let's say they get $1 trillion. Okay. $1 trillion. If we were to tax that and take that from the rich, get $1 trillion from these people somehow, that doesn't even cover our natural interest rate debt. Period. That's it. It doesn't it's not a tax issue. It's a spending. It's a budget issue. It's a deficit issue. It's a political spending issue, right? I just don't know how people, I don't know how they don't see that. I just the numbers are slapping you across the face. We're about to hit $35 trillion in U.S. national debt. Great. Okay. Well, soon we're going to have to tax, even if we tax 100% of the money made by these ultra rich billionaires in 3 years from now, that won't even be enough to cover the debt that we accrue probably monthly. So it's what are you fighting for at that point? I don't get, you should be, it makes no sense. It's contradictive and it makes no sense. Proof of life for Joe Biden here. Biden makes first appearance since Team Kamala stole his power. Yeah, guys, there was a lot of theories circulating the internet from people like Charlie Kirk that Joe Biden was missing and in fact dead. That was 100% misinformation. But it was interesting to see that it took 7 days essentially for, of course, us to see Biden. He's expected to speak tomorrow. Of course, I'll let you guys know what happens if he does decide to come out and address the nation tomorrow. We are waiting for, I believe it's at 2 p.m. tomorrow, something like that. Of course, Mario Naval, we already covered this tweet with Donald J. Trump not being associated apparently to Larry Fink and, of course, Jamie Dimon. And I want to give another, I want to see this in the chat, guys. W's in the chat here again. Let's just get some W's running through here. Good news, Cheeto resigns Secret Service credit to Dems for joining representatives in condemnation condemnation on epic security failure. I've worked for 2 U.S. presidents and never saw such a lack of security. Guys, like, look, this isn't going to end. I think, honestly, Cheeto needs to be arrested. I think the FBI director, the DOJ, really the CIA, Secret Service, even the local, chief of police, everybody needs to be subpoenaed. They need to report to Congress. We need to do, a massive investigation into this. She should be stripped of all her rights for her pension of her $55,000. She should not be able to receive $55,000 for the rest of her life for this catastrophic failure. She's simply stepping down, and, I really hope this isn't the end of this, because I think she needs to not only be held accountable, I think she needs to hold herself accountable. And you taking $55,000 in taxpayer monies after seeing one of the worst catastrophic failures we've ever seen is just not something I honestly think I agree with. So I would like to see that investigated much more in depth here. Secret Service Deputy Director Ron Rowe appointed to being acting director. This is the new director here. Secret of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas said he's appointed Secret Service Deputy Director Ron Rowe to serve as acting director of the agency. And again, Homeland Security, Mayorkas is another person that should be, of course, investigated as well here. But you guys know how history works. We probably won't get anything out of this, and we'll never know what happens, at least for another 40 years. Breaking the head of the Secret Service, FBI, and Homeland Security have all declined to testify in the White House here on the shooting of the former president, Donald Trump. The Trump assassination plot cover-up continues. There's just a bajillion unanswered questions. I just don't think we're going to see anything. Also, I want to quickly remind you guys again, you guys, look, I love the political talk. I think this is great. Here you go. Here's the current administration. According to Pentagon, an accounting mistake. I feel like people forgot about this. Do you guys remember when this is like literally a year ago, not even, they miscalculated and accidentally gave Ukraine an extra $6.2 billion. Do you guys remember that? $6.2 billion. Yeah. So, again, I think this is a budget issue. I think this is a spending issue. And I think this is a deficit issue. That's where I kind of stand on this. Register all your valuables in Central EU. Register to help financial transparency. Bank accounts, shares, cars, precious metals, Bitcoin, works of art, your tacky Rolex. Register it all so we can fight money laundering. Coming soon, maybe. The EU wants to control literally everything you have and understand everything you have. So they want you to record everything. And we will probably be, moving towards that with the digital identity in a lot of the more socialistic states. This morning, 5 Senate Democrats sent a letter to Sam Altman with 12 questions. This was question 9. Will OpenAI commit to making its next foundation model available to the United States government agencies for pre-development testing, review, analysis, and assessment? Interesting here, guys. Interesting developments in the AI markets. 2024 is shaping out to be the year of prediction markets. Of course, you guys are seeing poly markets used more than ever. And we already covered the layer 2s out here, guys. I'm expecting OrdiSwap and Runes Terminal and a lot of these platforms to do really, really well in the bull run. Once Bitcoin breaks past 80K, 90K, I don't know if that's 2 months, 3 months, 3 years from now, I do expect Bitcoin layer 2s to have some significant volume and life brought to them. As they're a new immature asset class that I think is going to benefit from this. ISO 222 compliance, nobody talks about, and that's just bang on the about graphics. ISO 222 is really, I've talked about it a lot, man. I've covered it a lot, NF. I go back and I've spoken to ISO developers, and they've all told me it's nothing burger. They say it's pretty much a retail perspective on mainstream adoption that doesn't exist. ISO standards, International Standardized Organization. People like Gilbert Vildian, he developed TC307, which is he is the CEO of Quant, a SaaS model, centralized platform that's helping develop central bank digital currencies, etc. I've talked in depth with their partners, brother, and the devs, and they tell me ISO standards are honestly pretty simple to integrate. And it's not like, what XRP was using it 3-4 years ago, where they're like, oh, it's going to be this flip of the switch and everyone's going to have to use the system. It's actually really easy to integrate into any private system, on-chain, off-chain, from what I've been told. And it's not as complex as people like to make it to be. So that's it. That's where I'm at here. It's not a nothing burger. What I mean is, like, in terms of price action, like it just is what it is, like again, I've spoken to devs and people that have built standards for the ISO, and they're just like, yeah, it's not going to make XRP $1,000 per token. So is what it is. But hey, is what it is. You've talked in depth with Quant, but can't pronounce the CEO's name right, Gilbert Verdian. If I'm saying that wrong, man, dude, I really don't care. I haven't talked to Gilbert Verdian. I've spoken to devs. I haven't spoken to Gilbert ever. I don't think I have. I definitely haven't. But guys, this ain't English class. I really don't give a shit how I pronounce things. All I care about is the data and to make money. So, people are like mad how I say Kamala. What's her name? Kamala. Why is JP Morgan Chase? Guys, JP Morgan Chase is calling me right now. JP Morgan Chase is calling me right now. Democrats trying to overthrow the Bolivian government just to get their hold on lithium wealth. Ukraine. Jake. Democrats love war to get... guys, I think it's uniparty issues. I think it's honestly both parties. It's been both parties. It's not Democrats and it's not just Republicans. I can go back to Bush. You can go back to both Bushes, actually. Like you can go back. Like every Republican Democrat has put us into positions of war. It's really, I think throughout the only one that didn't have any conflicts underneath them, and for some reason people want to dispute this, is Donald Trump. There wasn't zero conflicts though, and what I mean is like there was already existing wars. But also Democrat, like when you have the far left and far right like arguing on streams, that's not happening. Okay, well, nobody, like none of these people even talk about what happened in Yemen. They don't talk about Benghazi under the Obama administration. They don't, which is Libya. They don't talk about what's happening in North and South Sudan, what's happening in the Central African Republic. They don't talk about any of these things. And there's like 28 or 29 conflicts perhaps happening worldwide today. And the only ones that are really gaining any mainstream attention are, of course, going to be Ukraine, the Middle East, and by that I mean Israel and, of course, Gaza. And then you have, sometimes South Pacific with Taiwan and China here. But what about like all of Africa, which is literally going through like mass genocide in multiple different countries? No, nobody wants to talk about that. Doesn't fit the narrative. Little keyboard warriors on here. Yeah. Hey, the guy is passionate. You got to give him that. Facts. Hey, I'm always there for it. Let me pull up some charts here though, just to answer some Q&A. Trump is RFK. Oh, he's not a president. I guess you're kind of right there. You're kind of right. You kind of got me there. For real, what moron thinks war is a demish? A lot of people do, guys. They just they use everything as political footballs today. For example, national abortion. They say Trump is all about national abortion. It's like he's made it clear 100,000 times that he's like making it a states' right issue. It's like, which is fine. We live in a democratic country. Right? We're supposed to, right? So if you don't like what your state, decides on, like, go to any other states, it's really, but they use it as national abortion. They use it as Project 2025, which again is the Heritage Foundation, has nothing to think. There is just as, socialistic, communist platforms built on the far left as the far right. And it's just all of its political footballs. Like nobody wants to come in and just look at this from a logical perspective, have common sense, and just sit here and go, okay, well, it would make more sense to, settle this diplomatically. Why aren't we, investigating Nord Stream pipeline 2? Why are we talking about, like, for example, my favorite ones, like environmental impacts. Like Biden's entire campaign, campaigned on and being environmentally friendly. And then they literally allowed and approved the Willow project after they fucked up and shut down the Keystone pipeline. Now they're drilling more than ever. They're taking all the Trump policies that made his economy successful and they're wrapping that into their own administration. But again, Biden's done good things. I'm not even talking on that side. CHIPS Plan 4 Act, the trilateral agreement between Japan, Korea, and of course the United States. They've had huge advancements in manufacturing, especially with Canada and Mexico. There's positives on both sides, but nobody talks about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to talk about, mass deportation, which is like, or abortion, or, again, I can just go on and on and on about this, and it's quite exhausting. To be fair, a lot of people do. So sorry. Yeah, dude, Africa is so bad. Again, the Obama administration wrecked Libya, and he has came out a bajillion times and said it was his greatest mistake. I mean, they're responsible for over 1 million in displacement, hundreds of thousands of lives, and the downfall of what was a very structured country. Again, whether or not it was democratic, how it was being developed, they wanted to come off the U.S. dollar, of course, and establish their own currency. We started funding NGO programs in the early 2010s. I think even probably in the late 2008, 2009, leading up to the event. And then we've directly financed the takedown of Gaddafi. And it completely destabilized the entire nation. So that's like, go look through the 30,000 emails. Like, Hillary Clinton is nothing but a national security threat. And for some people, for some reason, they want to talk about how Trump's a security threat, even though he had great ties with North Korea, Russia, and China. And then they're like, oh, well, Hillary Clinton's the answer. It's like, dude, she literally got like multiple soldiers. She destabilized an entire nation and got a lot of our own soldiers killed. Like, you know, just like, holy smokes. Like what? Bush is no better. I'm not saying Bush is better at all. There's a reason why all of them, the Clintons, the Bushes, and all of them don't endorse Trump. Except is a known liar. Guys, every single politician lies. I don't know if you guys have learned that. Like, there you go. Josh, do you think people are still afraid to support Trump? Oh, yeah, 100%. It's so politically radicalized. People are scared to say so. But now you have like the Democratic Party literally putting a nominee in who they did not vote for, who had a terrible run in 2020. She had 0 votes. She's established almost nothing over her historical political career. I would say, I mean, she advanced in the right ways in California. She met with the right people. But I mean, if you look through her policies and her developments in California, she's behind a lot of the policies that have embedded, tons of homelessness, all of the deficit and spending issues that have taken place under Newsom. She had a huge part of. Not to mention, again, she had the entire like civil rights issue with, of course, holding prisoners, over 5,000 prisoners in jail longer than they needed to be illegally, which is like a form of enslavement. If you really want to look into it, like there's just so many issues, right? It's like, let a fair, free, like you would think RFK would pull the nomination pretty quickly. But they've changed over 60 rules this election cycle itself, the DNC specifically. So they make it very complex. They make it very complicated. It makes it very hard for, anybody to actually run, which makes no sense. Trump is buying Jasmine for the Federal Reserve. I don't think that's at all true. Brazil is smart. I would also, I don't know enough about Brazil's politics, unless you want to go back to like 2020. Bill the Bear meme coin. Bill the Bear, it's a meme coin. It's going to probably just go up and down. Guys, meme coins like meme coins are like part of that game that, like, if you want exposure to your portfolio, I don't think it should ever be more than 3% of it. Crypto meme coins don't make up more than 3% of the entire crypto market. I think, like, I have meme coins, I have exposure, but they're going to follow the market trends, right? Meme coins are all down right now. Once meme coin cycle comes back, they're all going to pump again. Money's going to flow back into them, but they don't really have utility, right? Meme coins don't have utility. So there's not, some meme coins, like, of course, Duke, we're building tools that incite volume and stuff like that, which are really, really cool. But meme coins are, they're high risk, guys. They're high risk, and most of them, like Duke, at least is 100% fair launched. And there's still quite a few out there that are 100% fair launch. A lot of these guys, all these celebrity tokens that are launching, most of them are sniped 95% of the supply, and you're going to get taken advantage of. So just be cautious. Be cautious with most celebrity and, memes on Pump Fund, etc. A lot of wahaha Trump haters. I just wish everybody would just look at everybody like the same. Most people that hate Trump, like they don't even know why at this point. They just like straight up don't. They just use like, oh, he's a sexist. So it's like, okay, well, you have, Kamala Harris being introduced by like known. I want to be careful with words I say on YouTube here so we don't get slashed. But I mean, just look at her history as well. Certain Hollywood rappers, I could say that. BitDAO can really pop after the retracement from the huge pump. Yo, my bro, do you think a Tesla Model X is a good investment? Do you have, if you have the money? I mean, it's up to you. You can get the tax write-offs. Personally, I got a Tesla Model Y on Memorial Day because at a 0.99% APR. Then you get the $7,500 write-off. So it was like buying a $35,000 car. So that was a great purchase in my opinion. But cars like Teslas depreciate in value pretty instantly. So if you're really not using it as a write-off, then I don't know what you're doing. You'd probably want to focus on, like, you could actually invest in the cars. There's a lot of cars out there that, like, you can, like, if you can get a like nice Porsche or even I think R8s, like you can probably find some older ones that are bottoming out in price action if you take care of it. But if you're looking for a commuter, dude, I love Teslas. Trump is against Pentagon's interest. Cry, what's up, man? Kamala is a big fraud. It is easy to see her life on the daily. John, you are so grown. Wish you had millions of followers online right now. You're doing the great work. Yo, appreciate you, man. Some people can afford to move states. Some people have even no choice. I had to move out of California. I couldn't afford to live in California. No way I could have lived in California. I mean, I could have. It would have just been not nearly as nice. You are missing the point, idiots. I said Brazil is with Trump. Oh, gotcha. I didn't answer anything against it, so I don't know if you were talking to me or specifically chat. I would have to. There's so much happening in the world. I was pretty sure Brazil sided though after like they had the whole coup take place, or at least the riots or whatever it was in 2020. I don't know why I'm spacing out on Brazil's president right now. With us in South America got money and they got involved. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got involved. They got involved with BRICS and everything back in 2020. You excited for Nashville? Dude, I'm incredibly excited for Nashville. I got a whale pass. I would love to meet RFK Jr., Vivek, and Donald Trump. They're all going to be there. Donald Trump's going to obviously be hard to get to meet because he's got his fundraisers going on. So it's going to cost like $60,000 just to get a photo. But Bolsonaro, thank you. Thank you, Tom. You're the GOAT. Appreciate you, my guy. Duke on top, baby. Duke on top, not you, brother. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. And that's why I said Brazil was smart because they are. I don't think Brazil, they were before in 2016, but Brazil's not. Oh, was smart. Sorry, chat. I see what you're saying now, guys. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Brazil, like, again, BRICS was like a nothing burger. Again, like BRICS, type 1 in chat if you remember BRICS being like end all be all, right? Everybody's like, oh, the downfall of the United States dollar. Yeah, it never caught any, like, what are you going to have a bunch of communists and authoritarian dictators to get to agree on who gets to stash the reserves for their currency that's apparently going to be backed by these precious metals? No, there's no reality where that was going to exist or be able to take over some global dominated like, again, the US dollar still makes up for over 80, or I think it's 88% of global trade. Kamala says Trump is trying to push. Yeah, their biggest things against Trump now are just prior to 2025. CNN's even coming out and saying that it's racist to say that Kamala, that she's not fit for presidency. Kamala is not fit for presidency. She's never even been to the border. She's never traveled to Europe. She has no geopolitical interest. I mean, imagine her sitting down with Xi Jinping or a Joe Biden. I mean, they're just, or not Joe Biden. Sorry. Wow. Yikes. Vladimir Putin. I just don't see anything coming into that in terms of negotiation. I just don't see any strength there. I just don't. Like, guys, there could be easily a woman president. That is not what this is about. They're going to try to make it about being sexist, etc. It's not about that. It's literally just being qualified. Like, a woman could easily be president. Just meet the qualifications. That's all we're saying here. The best chance at it was the Clinton administration, and Hillary Clinton again was like a notorious national security threat and concern and destabilized nation state. So, or destabilized entire nations. So I just, I don't know what you want out of this. I don't know what you want out of this. You know, she'll just start laughing. Anything new cooking for Duke? I mean, dude, we're always cooking for Duke. Right now, I've been focusing on just making the products as good as possible, Gump. That's like my entire process right now. Meme coins are, guys, like, look at this. Duke is crushing it, by the way. 2 mil market cap, right? Again, I don't make any money off Duke, guys. I don't make anything. I don't have, like, the only supply I have, I'm literally just burning and doing giveaways with. It's all for you guys. So my focus right now is I'm getting FOMO completely cleaned up for you, brother. And then this, I forgot. Yes, here you go. Incredibly bullish. Meme coins aren't popular right now. They're going to come back. They always come back, right? But, you know, when you guys do see your favorite celebrities or an influencer getting ready to launch something, check this out, guys. We now have the Smart Snipe for you guys. So Smart Snipe is really, really cool. You can enter in a token address and allocate like 0.5 SOL you see here and say put 0.05 SOL into 10 different projects, and you can snipe every ticker that launches. So I'm going to teach you guys how to snipe new launch tokens. Now, it's a numbers game, right? This is how it works in meme coins, guys. Let's say you have 1 SOL and you put that into 10 projects. 9 out of 10 of them are going to be scams as people are trying to launch and take, to get advantage of these. But that's how these bots work. They buy every single scam. So that way they make sure they trigger and buy the right contract address and make that 100x. So this is completely free tool that I built for you guys. Again, with Duke here, it's integrated to Gamok. My devs over at FOMO.io have built this DAO for ages. It's been around for a very, very long time. They integrated Duke. So 5% of all the transactions go back to buying and burning Duke. So why not support not only a meme coin that's 100% fair launch and community driven, but you can now snipe all your favorite meme coins. You can set limit orders, buy orders, everything you need on meme coins and trade much more safer. It's insane. It's insane. So that is insane, guys. If you want to check that out, the link is on Twitter. All you guys got to do is go to profile, click on the link me in my bio right here, link.me/JustWithJake. And we have the EVM bot, which is Ethereum, Base, BNB, etc. And we have the Solana Duke bot. So make sure you guys go check that out. Of course, we got FOMO right here. If you guys aren't using FOMO as well, integrating Duke. And then we have the Telegram. If you guys aren't in the Telegram here, the Telegram completely free to join, and is a beautiful group now, guys. This is where I give all my exclusive updates and calls. This is, if you guys want to learn how to trade, I am partnered with CoinW here. And they are giving us their best traders to give scalp trades, live signals. And if you guys want to learn from them, they host classes in here all the time. So go check them out, listen to them, say what's up to these guys. They're some of the best TA traders I've ever met. They absolutely crush it. They teach you how to swing trade, scalp trade, spot trade, everything. And then, of course, guys, I got all of my announcements and my exclusive update videos in here with you guys, and we'll be doing exclusive content in Bitcoin Nashville. So if you guys want to check that out as well, the link is on Twitter, and I'll put it in the chat for you guys so you guys can go check it out. Duke is poop. Guys, look, everybody's always going to fade them until they success. Like they call you crazy until you make it and successful, and then you're a genius, right? That's just how it works. It's also the mascot, of course, for OmniSwap. .io right there. But yeah, it's 100%. It's literally just complete community driven. There's no utility. We're just integrating it, and I make nothing off of it. And it's just a meme coin that you guys can believe. There's no KOLs, there's no insiders, there's no team allocation, there's no market makers, right? It's bringing fairness, and it's built on top of base. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool, social project. Kamala won't get close. Trump is still legal press. President by acting president, AI algorithm, Trump reselected. Michelle Obama's. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. All right, guys, but that's what I got to you. It is 5 o'clock, guys. If you guys are still, of course, interested, make sure you guys go check out the Telegram group. Go jump in there, guys, as we're going to be in Bitcoin Nashville the rest of the week. So make sure you guys hit that like button, repost if you're on Twitter, and of course, turn on those notifications and subscribe. We've had an absolutely amazing series with you guys this week. We go live at 10:30 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, giving you guys the latest news, of course, on the crypto markets, and then on the morning show on Discover Crypto. And on top of that, I am live at 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday every single week for you guys, giving you the latest crypto news and covering everything that's happening both politically as well as openly trading sometimes with you guys. So make sure you guys turn on those notifications and check out our morning show, etc. You guys know what to do here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see you guys in Bitcoin Nashville if you're attending with us, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys very, very soon.